Hey, I'm Jade Halliwell, and this podcast is all about spilling the tea. I'll be showing you a little more to me than my life as a country artist, and also getting the tea from fellow artists and people in various industries who inspire and fascinate me. If you want to get some advice on self-love, hear about the musings of a songwriter, or understand what it takes to take a leap and start your own business, then this is the podcast for you. As casual as two friends sharing the goss over a glass of their favourite gin, pour one for yourself and join me as I find out what's the G and T. Welcome back to the second episode of What's the G and T with me, Jade Halliwell. On today's episode, I have a very special guest, a good friend of mine, Kezia Gill. We're going to be having a chat about her career, our friendship, her highs, lows, what she's looking forward to, and a whole lot more. So pour yourself a gin and settle in. Welcome to the second episode of What's the G and T. My first guest, actually of the entire series, is my good friend Kezia Gill. Thank you for coming and enjoying a tea.
Well, I feel like I was missold slightly because it was G and T and I've been offered a brew.
Listen, there's time. There's time, you animal. It's a
Probably
little bit early to
probably
get the
quite
alcohol
sensible
out.
that we start with tea, actually.
Yeah, otherwise it'll just be like a night in with Jade and Kez.
And we don't want to share that.
No one wants to see that behind the scenes. No.
Singing Celine Dion into a hairbrush.
Just the best nights though. We were away and someone said, oh, he wants to go to a karaoke bar tonight, and everyone sort of went, and it was like, Jade's favourite night out is singing Whitney and Celine at karaoke bars. I was
Absolutely.
like, it's true. You're not having a good night until you're drunk singing the power ballads.
And it's weird because you actually do that for a living, but I think when you're on karaoke, there's just no pressure.
Yeah.
And it's like all the rest of the time you're thinking, oh, I've got to do it right. When does the intro kick in? Is it the right key? When you've had a few drinks and you're in karaoke.
Especially I think when you're on holiday, like you're just in a room full of strangers. Although we went, bit of background, we had a UK like females in country girls night out in December, and being musicians, the perfect night out was to hire a karaoke bar. So we did that, and Kezia, just tell everyone what your first song
I
choice
knew
was.
what everyone would be expecting of me. I thought they're going to expect me to get up and do like Carrie Underwood or Shania Twain. I went in with Coolio, Gangsta's Paradise. And the funny thing was, there's a couple of you guys that I know better, and I think you were expecting that from me, but a few of the other girls were like, what is Kezia doing? But I like the element of surprise on that one.
I was quite impressed at how well you knew the words. You kind
Every
of
word, didn't even need to look at the screen. Professional.
Well, welcome to Batley. We've been friends for years, and I think, is this your first time coming to Batley?
Well, I've driven through.
Most people do.
It's better than driving past. But no, it's especially where we are, like it's just really hidden away.
It's so nice.
You would
So
not
that's so
expect
it's
it.
called the hidden secret.
Well, there you go. You see, I get that now. But it's really lovely. It's a super windy day today.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a horrible drive up, but no, lovely to be here.
Yes, thank you for coming. Play cards right. I might take you to Nash afterwards.
I've heard all about the Batley Nash. I mean, I'm starting to think it can't possibly be as good as you've made it out to
No,
be.
it is. It's everything. Although we've moved now, we don't live in Batley anymore, so we need to find a new club.
Well, you've literally just got the keys, haven't you, this week?
Yeah.
How does it feel to be an adult?
Well, I said to Luke, I've moved out finally. Suddenly I like red wine, so I started drinking red wine. I just need to start driving on the motorway now, and then I'll be a fully formed adult.
And how long have you had your driving licence?
12 years.
When you take a gig, you're mapping out all the A roads.
Honestly, when I tell Luke, I'm like, oh, such a fee. He's like, well, no, because it's not just you, is it? It's two people who are working that night, because you won't drive yourself there.
It's the weirdest setup.
Listen, next time you see me, I'll be like, just stopped on M62.
Well, you can come to see us. See, we're literally right up the M1. It's so easy, but you've just got to get on the M1.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to grow up. Could be a big goal.
Just don't drink red wine before you do it.
So much anxiety about getting, I think, like, what if people just don't let me on, and then that's me just crashed on Ard's shoulder because I ran out of road. You know what I mean?
Well, that's kind of what you learn to
What if
drive
I can't
for.
get off? And I'm like, what if I'm trying to get to Barnsley and before I know it I'm in London because I just couldn't get off the motorway?
Only you would be going to Barnsley and end up in London.
I feel like it's a thing that could happen.
You'll get there.
One day. Well, so I obviously know you very well, and I'm sure lots of people who are listening know you very well, but for those who don't, to be the interviewee. No interviewer? You're the interviewee. I'm the interviewer. That's the one. Yeah, just tell people like who you are, how we know each other, maybe like what it is that you do.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Kezia Gill, and I'm a singer-songwriter, predominantly in country and Americana, but the truth is I love all kinds of music. But really sort of found my feet in the country scene back in, was it 2018?
Yeah, that was when we first met, wasn't it?
Yeah, I had the opportunity to play, it was at the Horizon stage, which was sponsored by the BCMA, and it was a great platform for sort of young, unheard of artists to sort of come and showcase their work. And I've got such a fond memory because Jade was playing the Friday night that night, and she was the BCMA female vocalist, and there was this like so much excitement when you came on stage, and I was there as a complete nobody, no one had heard of me, and I was just stared at you and I was like, oh, she's amazing. And it was like that was my first experience of seeing you live, and then since that Horizon opportunity, sort of like my career steadily sort of started rolling. Got the opportunity to go on tour with Jade in Australia, which was a baptism of fire because we'd not really spent much time together.
Yeah, and it was like, go travel for...
And then suddenly
like
you got 32 hours, a 10-hour layover in Beijing airport, which was the coldest airport I've ever been in my life.
Do you remember, so if anyone's been to Beijing airport and has experienced this, weirdly, no matter what time, both on the way there and the way back, the only thing that was open was a Starbucks and an Irish pub that had an old World Cup football game on repeat. That was it. That was his choice.
Luke kept saying, I'm sure I've seen this game.
Like, so much deja vu. It was the weirdest experience, and we'd just go on shifts, wouldn't we, to like drop a level below and sleep on the metal benches, and never again will I do that journey. Never
Because
again.
we were going to Australia and we'd all been told to really prepare for hot weather because obviously our seasons are opposite. So it was January, we were told to prepare for the middle of summer. So we really didn't pack anything winter-worthy, did we? Other than sort of what we travelled to the airport in. And Beijing, it was like minus 10 degrees. It was so cold. We were like huddling together like penguins. So it was a great way to get to know Jade. And I think we just became friends straight away,
definitely.
didn't we? And then sort of since then, it's just been a lovely gradual journey of us playing the same festivals and being on the same writers' rounds, being in the same circle of friends as well, which really helps. And our friendship's grown. Both of our careers have kind of started to do well, and the nicest thing is, I think, whereas a lot of people would expect two women to sort of pit against each other, we were just like, absolutely not. I'll literally give you a leg up and you can pull me up with you. Yeah. So it's a great friendship for me to have personally, but professionally as well. It's great to have a friend.
Yeah, completely agree.
That does what I do, because a lot of my girlfriends, they're like, oh, should we go out for drinks Saturday night? And I'm like, I've got a Saturday in March 2024.
Yeah.
How does that work for you?
Yeah, it's always like so much nicer, like to not just be like, oh, I see you at gigs, but to actually have that friendship and, to speak outside of gigs, and, Luke and Lloyd have become good friends, and to come and spend time like down in Derby with you, and now that we've finally got a home, you guys can come up and spend some time with us.
I cannot wait. The only time I got to stay with you, I stayed at your mum's house.
Yeah.
And she put Christmas bedding on for us.
And she was so excited about it. She was like, shall I put nice bedding on or elf bedding? I was like, elf, get it on. Elf, get the bedding on.
And then you planned to cook us all breakfast, didn't you? And Jade thought you could microwave a Richmond sausage. And thank God Lloyd was there to cook, so we didn't all get food poisoning. But that was on the Girl Country tour,
yeah,
wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a Girl Country tour.
Was it after Wakefield?
Yeah, we did the Wakefield day. And Luke had squeezed in a day of golf because we were at home that day. So he abandoned me,
of course.
Yeah, to go and play golf, and I was left in charge. And like, disclaimer, I don't claim to be a good cook. I'm terrible. I'm like I've set microwaves on fire trying to make porridge because I didn't know you put milk in it. But, you know, I'm not very good in the kitchen.
Where the pressure was the idea of the full English breakfast?
Luke wasn't supposed to play golf. I'd done the shop. Luke were going to be the chef. I'd be the cleaner. That's a system we have going. He cooks, I clean, and it works great.
So he left you high and dry.
Yeah, but then he left, and I was like, I've got to pull out all the stuff. I've got to roll out full English here. And I was like psyching myself up in bed. I was like, you just get down, you just get in that kitchen with confidence.
You cook the bacon. The bacon was lovely. And the sausages were just on a plate on the side. And I'm thinking, what point is she going to put the sausages in? Bearing in mind they take about 20 minutes more than the bacon. And I just kind of looked at us and went, do you want a sausage with that? Are you going to microwave it? Or like, yeah. Right, no, bacon sandwiches is fine.
And even that Lloyd had to get involved. It was like, sit down. Okay.
But that's the thing, like it's not just all work, is it? Like the fun that we have just as four mates, obviously with Luke and Lloyd as well. And it's really lovely as well, because the truth is, like, this is a very male-dominated industry, and from everything to sort of bookings and the logistics of getting to a venue. And say, for example, I took a festival that I'd not played before. You're the first person I'd ring. I'm like, have you done it? Have you dealt with the promoters? What's the parking like? You know, is there a changing room? Because as we know, there's never a changing room.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. So one thing we noticed heavily when we were on tour in November, so as Kezia mentioned, we joined up and did the Girl Country Tour back in November, played all over the UK. One thing we noticed was, like, changing rooms are rarely a thing, and even if they are a thing, no disrespect, they're definitely designed by a man.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Either there won't be a mirror, or there'll be a mirror but a socket at the other end of the room, so you can't, like, curl your hair in the mirror because you can't get any power near it, or the change room is a toilet.
Yeah.
And you've got, like, someone who's bought a ticket for the show trying to get in the toilet while you're getting ready, or, you know, there'll be a changing room but there'll be a mirror but it's dead. I'm 5'2", like, I need a low mirror.
One tiny mirror that we're both trying to do our makeup in. It's like, sorry, 'cause we have to kind of take it in turns. Oh, what was that one? I think there was one on one of the southern dates, and there was just a really intense red light above the mirror, and I was like, this is the worst light to do your makeup.
Basically got ready in a brothel.
Basically, whack a bit more eyeliner on. But but you know, the mad thing is, I think, like, with us being sort of at a still, dare I say, quite an introductory level into the music industry, I was thinking kind of smaller grassroots venues. Surely as you get bigger and further up, you know, the dressing rooms get better. But having literally just come off a theatre tour, you'd be amazed. There's still dressing rooms without mirrors.
Yeah.
And I'm like, at what point is it? Are you big enough to have a mirror in your dressing room?
I feel like in an ideal world, if I had, like, my tour kit, you know, what you're taking on tour, little Pelly, Yorkshire tea bags.
Yes.
Always. A mirror.
Like, you know, you need like a Mary Poppins style one where you just put a big full
those little ring lights that, like, flick up and you stick your phone in the middle. So
they're great.
That'd be great to take.
Do you know, I must mention, like I said, I've just come off an acoustic tour with the Shires, and Chrissy literally has a B&Q toolkit of everything that she needs when she's on tour, but it's things you'd never think of. So it's like knives and forks, oil, salt and pepper, because they'll always have a rider, and she says the amount of times on their rider they'll have ginger and lemon, which is obviously great for a singer. So they'll provide a kettle, they'll provide the ginger and the lemon, but there's no knives. There's no chopping board, and it's like, what? I'm just going to pop the lemon in. So she says she says it's just crazy, these little things. Or, you know, one of the hardest things to do when you're on the road, as we know, is eat healthily. Like, it's so easy to just grab something.
Maccadees for the win. Oh my God.
Sponsored by McDonald's.
I feel like I need to drop in. So Tammy, the wonderful Tamography, is here taking some photos for us. But she only took up photography a year ago, maybe, full time. Before that, she was a PT, and before the tour, I was like, let's get this girl ready for the tour. So I was like, Tammy, please, like, help me out in the gym. What am I doing? So she'd come, like, help me out, like, train with me, proper put me through it. Then I went on tour, and it was like day one. She was like, and I vlogged it. She texted me. She was like, "Oh, you had a good first day. I've just watched your videos. I saw you at Mackey's this morning. Then at night time, you went to Mackey's again." What you do? I was like, it's all I could eat.
Me and Jade had a shared spreadsheet of everything that we both needed to remember to take. We sort of listed all of our outfits, because the last thing you'd want to do is clash. So, you know, on a night you were wearing black and white, I'd wear something else. So we had this whole spreadsheet going, and then there was like things to pack, and you'd put gym gear. I'm going to take my trainers, take my gym stuff. And I rang her and I went, are we really taking gym gear on tour? Are we doing it? And James like, yeah, we're going to do it. Going to get up every morning, do this workout. I was like, okay, I'll pack my gym gear. Not once did we do a workout.
Excuse me, speak for yourself.
You did a hotel room
I did a hotel room workout, and Luke was like, I feel sort of like burpees. It's like whoever's below us can just do boom, boom every time.
I didn't do a single workout.
And then in London, I was like, ooh, there's a gym in the hotel room. So I sent Tammy a video. I was like, this is what I have. What can I do? And within about 5 minutes, she bashed me over a workout, and I did a workout in the gym there. Came back up feeling well pleased, and then about an hour later, sat with a beer in my hand. So, you know, it's all about balance.
See, I wish I had that level of balance, but yeah, no. Other than jumping up and down to keep warm, that's about all I managed to muster.
The stage is my workout.
But you know what's amazing? I've started setting my fitness tracker on my watch when I do a set, and it is incredible how many calories you burn whilst on stage.
Oh my god.
So I'm just saying that now on a gig day. Yeah. That's my workout.
I have a Fitbit, and when I was getting ready for Buckle and Boots, so obviously that was like the first band gig I'd had in 2 years through lockdown. I was not gigging and stuff, and I was like in my bedroom, like practicing my set and like doing star jumps and singing, like get that fitness level up so you can move about. And I did it one day and I finished, and it was like, boom, I hadn't set it, I just picked up that my heart rate was up, and I'd burned like 300 odd calories, and it was like, well done. I was like, oh.
I mean, I play the guitar, so I kind of have to sort of stay in a small space. But you're like literally left, right, centre, and you're just jumping up and down, and it's exhausting.
My mum literally says to me before I go on, she's like, don't get too excited on your first song, because you're out of breath then for the entire set. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna. But the funny thing, at Tennessee Fields, I obviously wasn't playing at Tennessee Fields. We do the Honky Tonk Road show. You were playing the Saturday, and we were sticking around, but unfortunately Jessica Lynn had to pull out. So he's like, do you want to fill in? And I remember thinking like, oh, are you prepared? And I thought, of course you are. You've been practicing for Buckle and Boots in your room, and then you stood in and played. Loads of the other guys, Luke pulled together a band, and everyone obviously absolutely smashed the set. But I remember thinking to myself, don't get too excited. But the joy of being back on stage. He hadn't even finished saying my name, and I came skipping on like. I was worried about song when I was like, I've done it again. I'm exhausted and I've got an entire set.
Do you know what I love about that whole experience? It was like we'd done the Honky Tonk Road show on a Friday night. So then that excuse me, that was technically you done. You're just there to party, there to enjoy it. But with like, 3-4 hours notice, not only did you put a show together, but you were straight in your suitcase, bang, stage outfit, ready, makeup, hair.
Luke's always like, why'd you pack so much like for these occasions? I had a backup outfit for stage
ready.
In there.
Like, who packs a backup stage outfit? But that was actually one of my favourite gigs, because I think I would never usually play with you because I'm kind of an artist in my own right, but because it was basically like we need an acoustic guitar, and I was like, this is my fangirl moment. I was like, I know all your songs. Please.
In the hotel, I was like, I think I don't want to be disrespectful to you. Like, you're an artist. I would never expect you to stand backing me. And you were like, I know all your songs, and I've got a black t-shirt. It's
I was so adamant that I was like, I've got a black t-shirt.
It's like, you're in the band.
But I love that is one of my highlights of the year. I absolutely loved it, and I was doing some harmonies and some BBs. And it was really cool. But I think sometimes when you just get thrown into it, you enjoy it more, because as we both have experienced before, the pressure build up before a big show can actually take away from the experience. And it was actually really nice to just throw something together and be like, right, let's make it happen.
Let's do it.
And you're back there, aren't you, this year?
Very excited. I'm over there in July, so that should be
get
fun.
To plan your outfit this time.
I mean, obviously I'll have a backup.
And I'll definitely have a black t-shirt on me just in case.
Hey, this is just your reminder that you are listening to What's the G&T with me, Jade Helliwell. If you are enjoying this episode, please do go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you're following me on Instagram at Jade Helliwell Official to keep up to date with all future episodes. So you've mentioned that you were on tour with the Shires.
Yes.
You should tell everybody, because not only have you been on tour, but that's my drum roll on my knees.
Going on tour.
Yes!
And I kind of feel like I sort of begged my way on. But you know, sometimes I just sort of said to them, like, I had so much fun doing the acoustic tour, and playing with such an established act means that we were playing like great venues, and the whole experience of being on the road, and we had like a big splitter van and we all rode together, and I was like, wow, this is the next level of touring, so like up from the way we did it, which was real grassroots. We drove ourselves everywhere, we did all the logistics.
Well, I didn't drive anywhere.
Well, Lloyd and Luke, absolute legends, bless them, but I was like, this is kind of the natural progression.
Yeah.
And I just sort of said to them, I think sometimes you've just got to back yourself, and I said, you know what, guys, I've had the time of my life. I would love to support you again if the opportunity was ever there. A few phone calls later, I was invited to join them. And but I'm actually not excited about the tour at all, just the fact there's going to be a tour bus. And I've got a bunk on said tour bus.
Oh my god, that'll be fun.
I was like, that's the dream. And it's funny enough, I was chatting to Chrissy about it.
You know what though? Is it the dream, or is it the dream until you're on it and like someone uses a tour bus toilet? Like,
Well, there is a rule.
Oh my god,
there's a
we
tour
had
bus
this
rule
conversation the other week with some
I mean,
guys.
you can probably all imagine what the rule is, but one's a fine, no twos.
Off the bus.
No twos on the bus. I mean, because there's 16 blokes basically on this bus. Can you imagine? But no, it's like a proper tour bus, and it's just going to keep. Like, it's logistically, it's going to be so much easier if we all travel together, and it just means I'll be away from home for the full 4 weeks. Yeah. We do have a few off days in between, but it'd be really nice to do stuff as a tour crew.
Yeah.
So I just can't wait, and some of the venues we're playing are like bucket list venues for me.
Yeah.
You know, like finishing up at the London Palladium, which like a lot of you know that like my dad was my absolute hero. I lost him a few years ago, but that was always his, like, one day you'll play the Palladium.
Yeah.
And that was his Wembley, his O2 Arena, you know. So that's going to be like such an immense night to play, and you know, I'm very aware of the fact it's not my name in lights. I understand that, but I think even just as a singer-songwriter, to be playing your original music in such an iconic venue. So not bothered about the tour, just the bus. But no, it's going to be exciting, and it helps as well that like with yourself, I get on so well with Ben and Chrissy. Yeah. And they are just genuinely nice people, and we have such a laugh. Yeah. And I think Ben wanted to sort of like try me out, and there was some banter, and I was never sure if he was joking, and then he'd be like, oh my god, I'm joking, and then I very quickly realised that he is a bit of a tease, and he will wind me up, so I started winding him up back. And I got him good once, because he always laughs because I say I look a bit like Jess Glynn. Yeah. So he sent me a WhatsApp once and said, one of our photographers got a really good picture of you tonight, and I was like, oh great, send it over. He sent me a photo of Jess Glynn. So I was like, right, I'm going to get him back. Left it a few minutes and text back, and I was like, that's actually really, really upset me. Like, I'm really just trying to establish myself as an artist. Like, that's really unfair. And he was mortified, and he was like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, So he's a proper wind-up merchant, but I got him back. But they're just the little things that you sort of get to know them. And now I do feel like going on the tour, I won't be nearly as nervous as I was this time, because we've built up that.
Yeah, it's like
foundation.
coming back to your friends.
Yeah, so it's just going to be such an exciting summer. Yeah, so ready for definitely.
It. Yeah, and obviously the big festival. The big announced.
The big announcement, C2C, and I've been sitting on it for a few months. Yeah. And so many people have been asking me about it, but you can't say anything, can you? And I was like, no, I don't think it's going to happen. And I think I'm one of the fortunate ones, because I wasn't on the 2020 lineup. Yeah. And there's been an awful lot of rolling over. Yeah. So I kind of just resigned myself to the fact that it'd have to be 23. I'd have to apply and sort of see what happened. But no, I'm super pleased to be invited. Yeah, it's the dream, isn't it?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, everybody wants to play C2C. I think there's like obviously all the festivals are amazing, but they're all got their own thing. So C2C, for anyone not into country music who's listening, C2C is Country to Country Festival. It's a huge like staple in the country world. It takes place at the O2 in London every March, and they have the arena shows, and then there's various stages that pop up all around the O2. It's just really cool to like showcase yourself in, and there's new crowds there. So
I think because you've got the pull of the big American acts, And you know, they are the biggest American acts. So you've got Luke Combs and Miranda Lambert, because people that are into country music that don't necessarily know there's a UK scene, it's like a ready-made audience for you, isn't it? And it's like, even from doing shows previously with people like William Michael Morgan, like I supported him a couple of times when he played in Manchester, and there was people that had gone for Will, and they were like, we've never heard of you.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's like such a massive scene, and they couldn't believe there was a UK country scene.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So things like C2C, it's just a perfect window of opportunity for us to be like, we are here, we are kind of holding our own.
Yeah.
And you know, you should come to a gig sometime, check us out, because I think like the UK scene is just the healthiest it's ever been.
Definitely.
And because we've all kind of been without music for a year, like the gigs that are coming out now, like people should support them and
100%.
be ready for them, because I think we've all got, like, people have been writing albums over lockdowns, and like tours got postponed, and I just think like 22, 23 is just going to be an explosion of music for the UK scene.
I think everyone's been locked in their houses, like, and you know, creative people were like itching, so I think a lot of people not in the industry maybe thought, oh, lockdown, you probably just sat waiting for the gig, but if anything, we're all sat buzzing like, well, I'll write, I'll record, I'll live stream, I'll do this, I'll do that, and then just itching so that when the live shows return, we're all ready and rearing to go, like we've got full sets of new music. And
I don't know about you, but I have this fear of like wasting time. So I think even like when the pandemic first hit and it was like March 2020 and it was all really scary, I was like, oh, maybe we'll get 2 or 3 weeks off. And then when it started looking like we were going to kind of be at home longer, I was suddenly like, right, I better do something. I better write an EP, which is what I did. And I'd started like doing videos and started doing editing, and we both had the weekly live streams. And people keep saying to me now, like, oh, you must be glad to be busy again. And I'm like, well, I'm busy in the sense that I'm leaving the house and I'm driving, but I was always busy because I don't know how not to be. I even struggle if I have a day off. I'm like, I'm sure there's something I should be doing.
I think in a way, like, people say, oh, it's great to be back. And don't get me wrong, it is great to be back gigging. But like deep down, a little part of me misses those days of waking up and being like, you have nowhere to go today, so you can get your guitar out and sit and write. Because I think sometimes it's hard to just sit and write when you're thinking, oh, well, I'm gigging that day, and then I've got this meeting and I've got that call and I've got to go there and I'm doing this bit. And it's hard to actually sit and give yourself time when you're busy. But throughout lockdown, like I say, the creative people suddenly went, boom, got all this time.
I did I was looking back on my my Facebook video watch list, and I think I did like 60 videos. In about 8 months. And now I keep thinking to myself, oh, you must get some YouTube content, you must do some videos. I just do not have time. I've literally, like last night was the first night I've slept in my bed in 11 days. I've just been out, you know, working on the road, and with most places logistically it's easier to stay over, and I'm just like, at what point am I filming and editing and recording, and then you've got to see the writing on top of it as well. And then I think there's just so much that when you are an independent, unsigned artist, as we are, the amount of admin, and
things that
emails
you don't
and
think
work
about.
and anxiety and stress and emotional burden that it takes on you. Sometimes by the time you get to your gig, you're just like, I've got nothing left. I've got nothing to give. But we do it because we love it. Like, I'm certainly not moaning.
No.
But it always makes me laugh because you know, the 45, 60 minutes that I'm up on stage is the easiest part of my job.
100%.
You know, and that's the bit everybody sees, isn't it? It's everything else that comes with it.
Because in that moment, all you're thinking about is what you're doing in that moment.
You're just in that moment.
You're just thinking about, you know, giving the best that you can give on stage. And like you say, I think then, like, when you're driving back afterwards, that's when your mind's like, I want to release a single on such a date. What date do I need to submit? I mean, you start thinking, like, sometimes I will chat to Luke and he's like, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, we're trying to go to sleep. Ask me in the morning, why are you talking work? I'm like,
voice note
I wake
at 2
up
o'clock in the morning so you don't forget a song idea.
Like, making notes in my phone, remember to email. But
I've started pinning emails that I don't want to forget about. But now my pinned email list is as bad as my inbox. About 25 pinned emails, and I'm like, this is getting ridiculous. But say to me, it's all good.
Do it because we love it. Definitely.
Of course we do.
Yeah.
And it's, I suppose as well, like there's a flip side of the coin. There is something nice about having the control over it all.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I think the bigger it gets, the smaller your part of it gets.
Yeah.
And I think even to the point where, you know, you perhaps don't get to decide what you wear or decide what your next single is. And I can't ever imagine a world where someone tells me what to wear.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that world will come one day, but it's just a weird concept, isn't it? That someone say, we think you should go for that one. It's like, but I like that one. No, we're going to go with that one. That's a weird thing to get my head around. Cause,
I think like what you wear on stage is like just part of your branding, isn't it? And your identity.
It's just that personal choice that you make. It's like, oh, you know, I've written this song, I'm really excited about it, this is going to be my next single. Yeah. To then have someone say, well, we think you should go with that one. It's like, oh, yeah. That's a weird
part of your
shift.
Branding. It's obviously the whiskey drinking woman.
It is. It's like someone telling me what to drink.
Well, I know that you love a whiskey.
Yeah.
This podcast is obviously called What's the G&T?
Yeah.
Now, I did want to get you a whiskey, but as I said, I've just moved house and just flown back from Denmark and my stuff is spread across houses at the moment. So I haven't quite got my stuff together, but also, I'm going to tell you what to drink.
Well, it's What's the G&T, so come on.
So I'm gonna have a little G&T with you now. We're very, very lucky here. So this lovely bottle is called Jade's Gin.
Actually,
Isn't that cute? So the Hancocks got me this for my birthday. I've not opened it yet, so it's like a personalised bottle. Oh. And you're my first guest to have some, so
we're christening it.
Give you a lovely pink glass. I don't have any ice.
That's all right.
Unfortunately,
it's pretty cold in here,
isn't it? So I'm gonna give you this. Voila.
See, I immediately feel more sophisticated with the gin glass.
But that's how I felt with the red wine. I was like, when I can drink red wine, I'm a woman. That's it.
I'm
a
woman.
We were
talking literally 4 or 5 weeks ago. And
you girls inspired me.
We were drinking wine and you were like, no, I just can't get on with it. And then you tried a little bit, didn't you? And you were like, it's okay. But you see, now you've got your own front door.
Yeah.
You come in, put the red wine on.
Honestly, Luke's parents would be very lucky. Both his parents have like helped us move in. And his mum and dad drink red wine, and she was like, have a drink. I forgot to go to shop and get anything, and I was like, first night, I've got nothing to drink. She's like, have a glass of this. And I was like, well, it's better than water, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I was like, actually, that's quite nice. And then I drank it all night. And then yesterday I was like, I'm going to do the food shop. Came back, I was like, got myself a bottle of red wine. I'm a woman now.
I wrote in your card, welcome to adulthood.
Yes, I saw that.
It's like, you can't get your mum to do your laundry anymore, love.
No, I have to get Luke on it.
So is this with tonic?
Yeah, I've had to cheap out with the tonic. They had no. My favourite tonic is Fever Tree.
Okay.
They had none in.
So the only time I've ever experimented with gin, I sometimes, like, you know, when it's really warm in the summer, I'll have like a fruity gin. Ooh, but I have it with lemonade. So this is my first actual G&T.
Wow, big moment here. Shall we get a cheers?
Cheers.
Thank you for being my first guest.
Thank you for having me. I'd have been offended if you asked anyone else, if I'm honest. Cheers, everyone.
Yeah, cheers.
God, what if I don't like it?
I want your feedback.
It's very grown up, isn't it?
You're a woman now.
That's it now.
So my favourite kinds of gins are the like rhubarb gins, the fruity ones. So if you think that's quite fruity in the summer.
Yeah, I think that the fruity ones in the summer I probably would still go lemonade. Yeah. Because I like the sweetness of lemonade.
I didn't used to like gin and tonic. And then I figured out it was the tonic, but then I got into flavoured tonics and now I like it just as a normal thing.
Is it the purple sweets, the Parma Violet?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's very sweet.
But it's dangerous because you just like pop. Flash forward, it's summer, you're asleep in a lounge.
Well, I had that experience with Copperberg. And once you've had that experience, you never drink cider again, let me tell you. It's just like fruit punch.
Yeah, I love Copperberg. And again, I think a lot of drinks, I love the idea of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I like a Copperberg, the sun's shining, I'm sat in a pub beer garden, a nice cold Copperberg and a glass of ice. Yeah. However, I have really bad stomach acid and the fruit cider does not agree with it, so I had to stop drinking it.
I'm the same as you, but I struggle really with any alcohol, point blank. But it's not enough to stop me drinking it. But I think my doctor's not watching.
I have certain ones though. Do you have drinks that you can't drink anymore because you have a bad memory attached to it?
Well, Copperberg is definitely that ended badly. But yeah, Southern Comfort, which is obviously like more of a whiskey liqueur. Yeah. So I should really like it. But again, I was young, probably 15. I shouldn't really share that, but drank too much of it. Got very poorly. And yeah, now even just the smell of it is enough.
I don't even know if they're still doing, but do you remember Red Wicked?
Yes.
Same, about 15, drank that, sick everywhere, including in my friend's hair. Yeah. Awful for her.
Awful for everyone
And
involved.
my
I
mum made
imagine.
me go to school the next day. I was severely hungover and crying, washing my hair, and she made me go to school as a lesson of like, why are you drinking? Like, you're 15, why are you drinking?
You learn the hard way. Do you know what's funny though about Wicked? I used to drink them quite a lot, you know, when you start drinking.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, we're from a generation where you didn't need ID when you were out. So 16, 17.
I get ID'd more now.
Innit? I mean, I'm like,
Like,
are you being serious?
You can have my ID, yes.
But was on holiday a few years ago. I'd been drinking whiskey all day, and you know, you just kind of hit a point. I was like, I'm kind of done. I don't really want to drink anymore. I'll have a bottle of Smirnoff Ice. That was worse than the whiskey all day. It gave me horrendous heartburn. I immediately just felt so sick, and I was like, I've literally just drank a bottle of sugar. That's basically what I've just drank.
First time I went to Nashville, me and Emily, like you say, we were drinking, they're just like Bud Lights, drinking beer all day. We just fancied a change. We were like, let's have a Smirnoff Ice. So we went into this bar and they said, do you do Smirnoff Ice? And she was like, yeah. Like, look, I was like, oh, can we have two then? She was like, okay. She literally turned over like, Eric, get the Smirnoff. He came out with these two dusty bottles and she was literally like, here you go. We got them. This is my really nice Nashville accent. We got them, and the amount of people who come past and go, oh my God, you're drinking Smirnoff Ice. I was like, what is it with the Smirnoff in Nashville? Is this just not a thing? So, you know, if you're from Nashville or you know anything about it,
yeah, do they do alka
let me know. Like, is it a rarity to have a, you know, a refreshing alka pop? Forgive me.
That's what
Cleaning my palate.
teenagers of this nation were born and bred on alka pops. We used to get Reef as well. Remember them?
Oh
Vodka
my God,
and orange.
yeah. Absolutely.
It's a turbo bomb it with
But
a
yeah,
straw.
we're women now because we like red wine and gin. So it's
Apparently
fine.
so. Apparently we're so much classier than then.
Well, before we wind down, so you mentioned earlier that you were into loads of different genres of music other than just country. And one thing I want like all my guests to do on this podcast is recommend a song. It doesn't have to be a country song, but any song. A song that you think people need to hear, so that hopefully anyone who's listening will, you know, take your advice and go and have a listen to it. So what song, if you could recommend a song, what would it be? I've kind of put you on the spot. So.
Well, does it have to be current?
No, it could be anything from any era.
Because lately I've been listening a lot to Norah Jones.
Oh.
And I used to listen to her a lot when she did the Come Away With Me album, which, gosh, was probably 10, 15 years ago now. Yeah, I listened to it a lot. And I've always been a fan of piano music as well. But I had like what do they call it? Like a mindfulness mix on Spotify, and it was just like relaxation, because sometimes my life gets so busy. I use music to just come into myself for a little bit. And I was coming back from Gatwick Airport on the train, and I just had an hour, and I'd been travelling all night. I was like, I just need a bit of quiet time. And Come Away With Me came on, and I was like, there's something so magic about her voice where it's like she's singing into your ear. Yeah. And I was like, for such a fast-paced world now where everything is like, you know, even food, it's like bang, order, it's on its way. Everything is so rapid. Yeah. And I was like, music has a power to stop everything. So whether you're on a train or, you know, you've just got 10 minutes at home, just put your headphones on and listen to Norah Jones' Come Away With Me. And there's just something so beautiful about that song and her voice. And I actually read in a magazine that Norah Jones, she didn't like the fame. Oh. So she got really successful, released a couple of albums, but kind of didn't like where it took her. Yeah. So she now just plays in like coffee shops in New York. Wow. People don't know who she is, but she's still a musician, but she just literally dropped off the public persona kind of platform. Yeah. Because she didn't like the fame. I kind of respect that. Yeah. You know, it's the same. I listened to a really interesting podcast with Sia that Louis Theroux did. Oh yeah, I listened to this. And she was just like, I never wanted to be known. Yeah. I wanted to be a writer. And even was it Titanium? She just did a scratch demo. Yeah. But like Sia's scratch demo is never going to be anyone else's, is it? Yeah. And I just think I kind of like that it's just about the music for them. So yeah, I would say if life's getting a bit busy lately, put Norah Jones on.
Oh, I love that.
She'll chill you right out.
Yes. Well, thank you so much.
You're
my first guest.
It's my absolute pleasure, and I'd just like to say, like, congratulations on this whole thing. I think it's really brave, and I think it's great that, you know, your voice is coming out as well as your music, because you've got a lot to say, and I'm here for it.
Thank you.
Thank you, darling.
Chin chin. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of What's the G and T with me, Jade Halliwell. Huge thank you to my guest Kezia Gill. You can go and follow Kezia on Instagram at Kezia Gill Music, Facebook at Kezia Gill, and check out her music on Spotify, Apple, anywhere where you can download or stream music. And make sure you head to her socials and follow her store where you can get your hands on some of her merchandise as well. Thank you to Luke Thomas for producing this episode of What's the G&T. Don't forget that you can also catch a visual version of this episode over on YouTube Wednesday at 6 p.m. Search for Jade Halliwell and you can check that out. If you have enjoyed this episode, please do subscribe. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram at Jade Halliwell Official, where you can find out all about future episodes and what we got coming up.